Hi everyone, today we're going to attempt summary practice 1 together. So get your worksheet ready and we will get started immediately. Let's read the question first. Using your own words as far as possible, summarize the secrets of successful students. So what you want to look out for would be secrets, okay? Tips, things that successful students do that other students may not do that contributes to their success, all right, as well as other factors, okay, that contribute to their success. So we need to be on the lookout for these two things in the passage, okay? So let's take a look at paragraph 6. I'm going to read the paragraph, and as I read, I will also be thinking aloud together with you, and I will also be annotating. Okay, so let's start. One cannot deny the importance of getting organized. In high school, McNair ran track, played rugby, and was in the band and orchestra. I was so busy, I couldn't waste time looking for a pencil or missing paper. I kept everything right where I could put my hands on it, he says. Now, McNair clearly shared a secret, but if you look at the way that it has been expressed, you realize that it is way too specific. Okay, he's saying that he couldn't waste time. Oh, this is really couldn't waste time looking for a pen or a missing paper. Now, what we want to do is we want to extract the secret, the idea, without being overly specific. So if a person says he couldn't waste time looking for a pencil or missing paper, I mean, it just simply means that he's trying to keep all his things at a place where he can find. Okay, so let's just I'm just going to read on first before I attempt to summarize this bit. I kept everything right where I could put my hands on it. So what is the idea over here? The idea over here is that McNair, or rather McNair, who represents successful students, all right, keeps things organized. Now over here it's quite clear that we're talking about things. How do you know? Pencil, paper, these are things. All right, so successful students keep things organized in order to save time because they couldn't waste time because they have so much to do, right? To save time. Also, McNair keeps his things where he can reach. Okay, so it's not just about organization, it's also about location. So he keeps things organized, and he also keeps them within reach. Okay, so this is how I would summarize this part. Okay, I leave it to you to put all these ideas together in proper sentences, okay, as later on when you write. All right, so we'll move on. Okay, now we are reading paragraph 7. Tracy Yamaguchi, a top student at Clover East High School in San Francisco, has another system. Okay, so we are now looking at another secret. Okay, another secret, another tip. All right, so this is definitely relevant. Whatever comes after this sentence is whatever comes after this sentence is going to be relevant. She immediately files the day's papers in color-coded folders by subject. So we have a secret over here. So they will be available for review at exam time. Again, this example is I think it isn't as specific as the previous one, isn't as bad as this one in terms of being overly specific, because this is so specific down to the detail, like the pencil or the paper. McNair is clearly only giving examples. He's not just only concerned about pencil and paper. He's just using pencil and paper as examples to illustrate that it's important to keep things organized, okay, especially things that students need every single day. Over here, this one is talking about files, documents. It's less specific, so we can go with the idea of papers or notes. Okay, so papers also referring to notes or handouts. Okay, these are words that you can use if you want to change out the vocabulary. Now, Tracy files the day's papers in color-coded folders by subject. So what's the bigger idea over here? Okay, color-coded folders. Now, if you color code your folders, you're trying to create a system, right? So you can say that Tracy is being systematic, or Tracy had a system, okay, to file her notes or her handouts, okay? Or even if you want to make it shorter, you can even say she had a filing system um that organizes her handouts according to subjects. There are many ways for you to express yourself. So I leave it to you to see what is the best way to pick out the idea without being overly specific, and also not losing on too much losing out on I mean not losing too much detail as well. Okay, and I want to summarize this bit. Available for review at exam time. She specifically talks about exam. So I would say she had a system to file all her handouts to facilitate. That's how I would say it. You can say in another way, revision or review, if you want to use the word review. Again, it's not like you can't. We are not focusing on paraphrasing this round, okay? But another word that you can use instead of review is definitely revision, to facilitate revision for for exams, right? For examinations. Okay, moving on. Even students who do not have a private study area can remain organized. A backpack or drawer keeps essential supplies together and eliminates time wasting searches. So basically, the main idea over here is about keeping a neat study area. And why do you want to do that? You want to do that to eliminate time wasting searches, right? To save time. Looking for materials or supplies, etc. Okay, I'll leave it to you to complete the sentence. Okay, let's carry on reading. It is also very important to schedule one's time. So I think we have another tip or another secret over here. So I'm just going to underline it. When a teacher assigns a project, you can draw up a timetable. Okay, this seems to be another tip. And dividing the project into small pieces. This seems to be another tip. All right. And so that it is not overwhelming. It becomes like eating a pizza. You chew it one bite at a time. You can outline an essay first, then try to complete the writing in one long push over the weekend. Now, I really think that this part is really a repetition, or rather a more figurative explanation of whatever we already have read earlier on in the same paragraph. So typically we don't need to include such further explanations that are generally the same idea. It's just that the writer wrote these sentences down to help the reader to sort of visualize a bit better, and also to make the writing more interesting. Okay, but it actually doesn't introduce any new ideas, so we are going to not include them in a summary. Okay, so by and large, when you are looking for points, you want to go for the bigger ideas. Okay, before we move on to the last paragraph, I'll leave it to you to see how you might want to, again, string all these points together in coherent sentences. And if you would like to paraphrase, you can do it. It's not the focus of our summary practice this time around. We are focusing on picking out the key ideas. But if you want to go ahead and paraphrase, make sure that after paraphrasing, the ideas are still accurate and very, very close to the original idea. Okay, moving on to the last paragraph. The most important secret of the super achievers is not so secret. So for almost all straight A students, the contribution of their parents was paramount. So we are talking about contribution by parents. Okay, so you underline this. From infancy, the parents instilled them with a love for learning and remind them to learn. Okay, so this is the specific contribution that the author wants to highlight. They set high standards for their kids and held them to those standards. So this is another thing that parents do to contribute to the success of their children, because it's a unique point and unique so-called secret, we're going to underline it. And lastly, the parents impress the lessons of responsibility on the kids to learn. I think if you want to keep it really simple, you can just say the parents, sparked the children's interest in learning. Okay, so the idea is the same. They set high standards for their kids. Okay, I think this is fairly straightforward. I most likely wouldn't paraphrase it. If you want to change out the word, you can think about expectations or other words that can replace standards. Okay, for the last point, I'm thinking about maybe you can say that the parents actually taught the kids how to be responsible, or the parents made sure that their kids took their learning seriously or took charge of their own learning. Okay, so now I've taken you through paragraphs 6 to 10. We have picked out the main ideas. We have, tried to sieve out the ideas that are relevant to the summary question. We did a little bit of paraphrasing as well. So now it's your turn, okay, to connect all these ideas to form a coherent 80-word summary. So go ahead and complete your work on your worksheet, and I will see you next time.